Good evening, I'm Lauren McCoy.
And I'm Meg Gatto. The father of a Covington native who was killed after a night out while attending LSU is now suing the Baton Rouge bar, its bar managers, and staff.
Madison Brooks' father alleges that they were all involved in the circumstances leading up to her death. David Jones joins us now with this story.
Lauren and Meg, Madison Brooks was an LSU sophomore who was hit and killed by a rideshare driver while standing in the middle of the road, intoxicated. She was allegedly sexually assaulted before her death. His attorney says they want accountability.
On Friday, now closed Tigerland Bar, Reggie's, its owner, multiple bar managers, and bartenders were slapped with a wide-ranging civil lawsuit. The lawsuit alleges the defendants created an environment where underage teens were easily able to drink to the point of becoming over-intoxicated. In all, the suit names 24 defendants.
They've named everyone who could conceivably be deemed liable for this young lady's death.
Fox 8 legal analyst Joe Responti says a civil lawsuit is very different from criminal charges, that the purpose of a civil suit is solely to seek monetary damages.
Every defendant that is named in solito, which means even if you're named for a little bit of it, you're going to be responsible for 100% of the damages if you are named, and you can pay them.
Also named in the suit, the 4 suspects booked in the rape investigation: Kayvon Washington, Desmond Carter, Everett Lee, and Kaysen Carver. All 4 were arrested after deputies say they left Reggie's with Brooks early in the morning. Washington and Carter allegedly raped Brooks before the 4 let her out near where she was killed in the early morning hours on January 15th. The lawsuit alleges 19-year-old Brooks was served a total of 24 alcoholic beverages while at Reggie's for a little more than 3 hours and was visibly highly intoxicated. It blames a culture of allowing underage drinking.
Each of those bartenders should have known what to do. They're the ones letting in these underage kids and hiring the people that maybe are not appropriately checking the IDs and are just serving whoever they can as much as they can.
In a statement, an attorney for John Brooks, Madison's father who lives in Florida, says, quote, "Madison's tragic death has taken a devastating emotional toll on her father, and that devastation continues each and every day. It is now time to hold Reggie's Bar, its employees, and others responsible for their irresponsible actions and neglect of Louisiana's drinking laws that led to the death of Madison. Reggie's was notorious for serving underage individuals alcohol, and this time the ending was the tragic death of a beautiful and talented young lady, Madison Brooks."
Again, 2 suspects in the car face rape charges. 2 others face related charges. All but Lee have been formally charged by a grand jury. All are still awaiting trial. Meg?